Hello. Today, for my daily portrait drawing practice, I would love to work from this amazing photo taken by David Callanan, who is an incredible street photographer. Thank you so much, David, for the amazing work you do, getting up close and personal with all these incredible people on the streets of the world. It's always a joy to see your photography, and David is just a super cool person. So everyone follow David on Instagram at Larry Davey. Hello, Cindy from the Atlantic Ocean. If you are watching live or watching the replay, I would love you to say hello in the chat. And we'll just get to sketching because I'm going to try and keep this fairly brief today. I've been doing Procreate portraits over the weekend, and I would like to get back to doing some brief exercises, and I'm going to be using this little stumpy bit of a solid graphite pencil for today's sketch, which I think will be really cool with this nice black and white image. And I have my blending stump, which accompanies graphite very, very nicely. So we'll start in just a moment, but I want to tell you I didn't quite finish the post, but I have finished the tutorial for Patreon that I've been talking about with watercolor sketching, and I did 3 pieces for it of increasing length, and they are uploaded and will be available very, very soon. And look, it's me. So these are all from images that reference images that were used during the watercolor month. And I filmed the entire process, talked through things, explored things, and those are now just waiting for my Patreon post, which is about to go out, hopefully before I go to sleep. That's another reason for doing a short live stream today. So they were super fun. I've really enjoyed my time sketching with watercolor, and now I'm looking forward to using graphite. Hello, Cindy, Annette, Tommy, Martina, Nana, and Lisbeth. So nice to have you all here. Look at this little piece of graphite. So, Shapes is the name of the game this month, and I'm just going to get into this. And Martina, here are some teeth for you. You were hoping that I was going to pick that teethy reference yesterday of the Train Man, and when I saw this, I was just like, oh, here are some great teeth. Oh, and I'm going straight to line. So, but, line, shape. The line is the outline of the shape, isn't it? But I want to use blocks of graphite, so I'm really thinking about the negative shape here in this wonderful mouth. And I feel I'm probably going to, I've stuck really well to going shape only the last few days, but line of course is part of shape. It's a very thin rectangle. As you said, Martina. Silesh is here. Hello. And Petra, so nice to have you here. I'm going to get in a little closer. Right. There we go. So just, using the broad side of this graphite pencil, I think fits really nicely into the idea of shape, because I want to focus on shape all month. And as I keep repeating this, it reminds me a lot of the shadow shapes month. But the idea of this, shadow shapes, I also used a lot of line. And the idea this month is I really want to see how little line I can use. Because I rely very heavily upon my line work. It's something that I really enjoy. And I think it will be really interesting to focus on, or I think, and I know from experience, it is interesting to focus on different ways of making things. So we're still using the same skill set, the same observational hardware that we have and the way that we develop our appreciation of proportions and form, distance, angles, all this stuff. But I'm going right into this shapey idea this month rather than building up my work through line. And I've actually been longing to do line drawings after the watercolor month, and I feel like using graphite today is kind of like a little bit of a, it's not only a compromise. I think it's a really great shape tool. I really like these solid graphite pencils. I don't know how dark this one is. I have like I think a HB, a 3B, and a 6B. And this is just a little stub, and I don't know how dark it is. But usually when I use graphite, I just stick to one pencil anyway, so I don't really need... It would be interesting maybe, because there are really clearly different values in this photo. It could be interesting to work with different softnesses, hardnesses of pencil, but I'm not going to. I think the blending stump is what I am going to do. I love the blending stump, and some of these shapes and values will be fun to express with just pushing the blending stump, pushing the graphite around. So what's everyone been up to so far today? Maybe it's the beginning of your day for you, or early in the day. It is very much the end of my day. And I filmed a tutorial for my Patreon supporters. I want to say my I'm getting German and English mixed up in my head, but my with learners is what I'm thinking, because the great part of filming tutorials so regularly is that I get to really focus on my understanding of how I do certain things. So it really is I get to deepen my learning and experience of a process and a thing, and share that. And that's something that I'm really honored to be able to do with you. The teeth, indeed. So yeah, this is how I'm going to deal with the teeth. And maybe I will do another Train Man, because that was so cool. I love the teeth in that photo, which we didn't use yesterday. But this is... So there are a couple of different schools of thought, I would say, on teeth drawing. Mine is don't draw the teeth. I often draw the teeth by not drawing the teeth. But Camilo Carreño, who I admire and love, he's like, draw all the teeth. He is an amazing tooth artist. And maybe one day I will get right into all the teeth. But I find it really helpful to express teethliness by not drawing the teeth and just drawing the things around them. So negative shapes are our friends. Ah, look at that, just so much fun just pushing this pencil around. Hi Mark. When you draw teeth, they look like chiclets. I'm not entirely sure what that means. What are chiclets? For some reason, is it like confectionery? I'm thinking of Tic Tacs, which is something that, I don't know. It may not be what you're talking about, but for some reason, that's just what it conjured up for me. So often the lines between the teeth are they they can be quite subtle. Like if we were to squint at this picture, like you can still discern that there is like a line between the teeth, but it's compared to the contrast of other parts of the image, it's not as strong as other parts. And that's the thing I think often with teeth, when people are like feeling a bit self-conscious about their drawn teeth, is often the contrast is really high, and people, you can really clearly see those lines. You know that they're separate teeth, and you draw these teeth, and then it ends up can be a bit intense. So lessening the contrast, or kind of doing something to imply those lines that you know are there, you know they're separate teeth, but not going into drawing each and every, like all of the outlines. That's something we've talked about a few times in different contexts, that outlining things can be a bit intense sometimes. Sometimes it can be great, but it's kind of a question of like how strong is the contrast really. And I think things where we think we know what is there, and we may tend to just go ahead and draw the things because we know what's there. And that's often the case, like with the eyes, that there'll be a lot of outlining, or around the nose, that people will tend to draw a lot more than you actually see, just because you know it's there. But if you're to squint at it, you will then kind of realize that often there's less to draw than it may seem. At least in this brief, it's also a question of the time frame. If you were to really get right into it and build everything up, and have like a lot of different values and a lot of complexity, you can get like right into it and establish a whole like bring it all to kind of what am I trying to say? A level of detail that the outlines of the teeth don't stand out so much anymore, because everything has been drawn. Or there could be different ways to deal with it. Or you could just like boldly make it a celebration of the teeth. It's probably not the right reference to not draw the teeth. Well, here, what I'm saying is draw the teeth by not drawing the teeth. I didn't draw the teeth. I drew the dark, cavernous mouth. So it looks like there's teeth there, but I didn't actually, as I was looking at it, I wasn't thinking of the teeth. That's what I mean by not drawing them. Square-shaped chewing gums. Okay. Hello, Funny Olivier. Loving the texture. Thank you. Hello, Nick. Tommy charges extra to draw teeth. $10 each. $10 a tooth. That's a great idea. Could you draw me with some extra teeth, please? This feels pretty cool already. Like the shapes are really nice. It's a bit dark, but it's a bit bright like that. Kind of missing some of the subtlety of what I can see. Yeah, each tooth for sure. $10 a tooth. You could that would be an interesting way to price commissions. It could lead to like that you could price per facial feature. That could be interesting. And they could like depending on their budget or how impressionistic they want it to be. Just charge for like the resolution. and if they want all of the teeth and they want each nostril and they want each wrinkle, it'd be like a set, and you piece together like a Subway sandwich where you choose the things you want. Although, I don't know, with Subway, do you pay extra for each thing? Something where you pay extra for each thing. And then, that could be an interesting kind of experiment. Seeing what people want. What they think they want. Here, I'm kind of getting a bit tricky now and putting a bit of line into this, but I love the big, loose shapiness of it, and I crave just a little bit of definition in some places. So David Callanan is amazing. The photographer who took this, he's so cool. He's been our guest on the Drawn Together show 3 times, I believe. He's such a lovely guy, and his photography is really amazing. So you can check out the replays all on my YouTube channel. Tomorrow is Tuesday, so the live stream will be a little bit later, and you can come join with us in Zoom. The link is in the description. It is also on my website. You'll find a few things on my website. If you go to dylansara.com, there is a page that says Learn With Me, and there you'll find the link to the Zoom room. There's also a mentorship page, and you'll find information about the mentorship. Anyone who's keen, please get in touch, because we'll be starting the next round of mentorship soon, which will be cool. And Tuesday, timed portrait sketching every Tuesday. Everyone's invited. If you have access to Zoom, I'd love you to be there. You can get drawn and pose if you want to. You don't have to if you don't want to. You can just hang out and soak up the ambience, sketch along with our great poses, and hear some entertaining stories. I was thinking there's a theme most Tuesdays to kind of get the ball rolling, inspiring the prompts. And I was thinking as a theme tomorrow to have, I haven't found a succinct way to articulate what I'm trying to say, but helpful things you didn't know but seem obvious once you know. There have been a few things I've thought about recently that I've kind of discovered, like, oh, this thing is for that, which has been really interesting, which then it seems like, oh, this is so clever, but how did I go so long without realizing that that's what this thing was for? Okay, I would love to really get tight into the drawing of this right now, but I feel that will take time and it will veer away from the shapely idea I had at the beginning of the session. So I'm enjoying the shapes, and it has this nice kind of dynamic looseness to it, which is really cool. And I think that's it for today. So thank you everyone who came sketching with me. And if you're watching the replay, thank you for watching. If you've made it all the way to the end, there is a drawing hand emoji that you can put in the chat or the comments, which I always get a warm fuzzy feeling when I see those drawing hand emojis in the chat and in the comments. And seriously, come to the Zoom session. It's so much fun. The link's in the description. We hang out, we sketch each other. I know many of you, and it's nice to be able to see the people whose usernames I know so well, and to just some people like to chat a lot. Some people don't like to chat a lot. You just do what's good for you. But just sharing the time, sketching together is just a wonderful thing to be able to do. So it's similar to this, except I'm not the only one doing the talking, which I appreciate. It's really fun, and I would love to have you there, because so many of you, I feel like from your usernames and Patreon and here and participating in my tutorials and stuff, I feel like I know so many of you, and it's always really special to get to hang out face cam to face cam and sketch together. So yeah, join me tomorrow. That's it. Oh, it's a bit blurry, is it? Yeah, there we go. A little crisper. Wait a minute. What I lack in teeth, I make up for in wrinkles. Senior discount. Yep. That's a good idea. Or you could also, like, in my, so for those of you who weren't here in the beginning, I filmed a Patreon tutorial today. I'll just show you again. 3 watercolor pieces, sketches, experimenting with a bit of wet and wet. And oh, look who's this. And I was just saying, like, drawing the beard is actually really easy. It's just like a block of darkness, and you can just put a few isolated hairs. So we could be charging by the hair in Tommy's commission price list. Martina a blob, that's all I am. So no need to pay for extra features. Pour Danny, du kannst, weil du musst. Hey, Arthur, have you been learning German, or do you just know German? That's great. Thank you everyone. Glad you like it. Drawing hand emoji. You can also just write drawing hand emoji, correct. Popcorn for watching. All right, yeah, that's it. Thanks for being here, everyone. See you tomorrow in Zoom and here. Thank you, David.